There was always that fear that the game you were really excited for that ended up being delayed time and time again may not end up being all that good. That was exactly my fear with Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, first announced in 2015 with a 2016 release date. The game, since then, was delayed pretty much annually until we reached today at the tail end of 2020. You can probably credit all these delays on the fact that the development team of this game only consisted of 2 people, but honestly, with what they were able to accomplish, I'm really impressed. But after waiting for so long, does this game live up to all the excitement that I have built up inside of me after all this time? Well, today we are here to find out. The story of Sakuna of Rice and Ruin is pretty straightforward. Travelers from the lowly realm, or the human realm, have found their way into the lofty realm, the home of the gods. Here we meet our main character Sakuna, who tries her best to get rid of them before they can cause any damage to the capital city. Unfortunately, while trying to chase them out, she sets fire to the whole harvest that was to be used as an offering, and from there, herself and the humans are banished to a faraway island called the Isle of Demons, where they must investigate why the island continues to avoid the reach of the gods. While on this island, gameplay is divided into 2 parts, the rice farming and side-scrolling combat. Both forms of gameplay rely on the other. The better your rice harvest, the better abilities you will begin to unlock as a harvest goddess, and better materials you find out in the overworld, the better fertilizer you can make for your rice. So, since it's pretty much in the game's title, let's first begin discussing the rice farming of this game, and man, is it something else. So those of you who are coming into this game expecting something akin to Story of Seasons or Rune Factory, oh man, let me tell you now, you will not be in for a good time. You'll be raising and growing rice through every stage of the rice's development, and you will make mistakes when you first start out. In order to give your rice the best harvest possible, you'll need to have to till the soil properly, space out your seeds in the right way, make sure to maintain proper water levels during each cycle of the rice, to drying it to hulling the grains of rice. Remember, this is more of a punishment for Sakuna, so no one said this would be easy. And let me say, when the game first starts, it's not going to be easy at all. In fact, your first 2 or 3 years of rice harvest probably won't be the best until you can find the right groove and fertilizer mix to make sure you can get the best possible output. This honestly feels intentionally done by the developers, as not only do you as a player have no idea how to grow rice, well, neither does Sakuna, or well, anyone else really. So you are to learn from the mistakes of each harvest to improve how you want to go about the next. Oh, and the more you tend to your rice, the more abilities you unlock to make things easier. Yeah, it's kinda backwards, especially the fact the game won't give you a full tutorial on all the rice growing until after like the 2nd chapter. While from a gameplay perspective I find this backwards, from a narrative one I find it truly unique. We are truly going through Sakuna's growth 1 grain of rice at a time. I will say the rice farming may not be for everyone. Some may find it a bit of a chore, and a bit tedious, but as I mentioned earlier, I dare say that is the point. But oddly enough, while going through each rice season, I found myself enjoying the tedium. It was a bit weird. Even though each harvest is only marginally better than the last one at times, I felt like I was still improving, and getting a better understanding of the game's systems, and I guess that is really what kept me going through all the different rice harvests. Now onto the actual combat of the game. There is something to be said about the simplicity and the fluidity of the action. You'll be making your way through 2D levels as you clear them out of monsters in order to secure the area. To clear out monsters, you have a light and heavy attack, as well as a shroud to use to get around the level or to pull enemies closer to you. And with all of these, you can pull off some really cool combos of the different abilities you unlock as you go throughout the game. You also unlock upgrades to your special attacks by using them more and more, giving you incentive to mix up how you play to get some more powerful combos. In order to unlock more levels, you have to do more than just complete the previous ones. You'll have to level up your exploration level, which is done by doing side objectives to get points towards it. This can range from getting the collectibles in the level to defeating a certain amount of an enemy in a certain way, to having to go in and defeat enemies at night, which can be challenging because at night all enemies get both a defense and attack boost, so you will have to make sure you're ready to take on a certain level's enemies at night. But this exploration level gives almost all of the levels a good replay value to find different things and to do different challenges. Thankfully, you don't have to do all of them to progress, so just do the ones you think you have the ability to do. Finally, you should remember, you are what you eat. Every night, Sakuna will have a nice dinner for adoptive family. You can change the menu based on the items you find while exploring the world, as well as the excess rice that you harvest. You can raise Sakuna's stats by changing up the meals that you eat, however, be careful. Just making anything can also have negative effects, most notably on Sakuna's hunger meter. The only way to regenerate health while in a level is for Sakuna to have a full stomach. Sadly, even when you can regenerate health, it can only be done out of combat. There are no real ways to heal yourself when you're in a pinch in a level, which does get a bit annoying at times, but it does make it so I try harder to get better in each fight. It still was annoying though. Another nice touch is that during these meals, the game uses it as a way to flesh out all of the characters as they discuss their struggles and their life leading up to this point where they are now. It was a nice way to expand on the universe's own lore of how the two realms operate in relation to each other, and allowed me to grow some attachment to the characters that I'm working alongside with. Also, I forgot to mention, there is a time system in this game. You'll be going through all 4 seasons, and there is a time limit on each day. There will be mornings and nights. You want to play through most of the levels in the daytime because at night, as I mentioned earlier, most of the enemies in the levels will become much stronger and harder to defeat if you don't have better gear, which you can get by finding enemies and taking their stuff and taking them to the blacksmith to get better weapons and armor to make sure you can survive the night a little bit better. But yes, part of the challenge of this game is also balancing out that time of, do I want to go out and fight enemies and scavenge for items, or do I want to go and spend time working on my rice fields? So it does have to become a bit of a balancing act the further you get into the game. Thankfully, when you get further along into the game, it does get a bit easier to start balancing out these two things, as you'll start being able to have the other people around the farm go out and do other things, such as going out and exploring different areas to go and scavenge for items, which can be used to make better fertilizer and better armor. But this does become a challenge early on, and stays one throughout the course of the game as a way to balance out what you want to do. And honestly, it's a welcome challenge in my opinion, because I always liked having to deal with time management stuff. In terms of design and style, I am honestly surprised this game was only made by 2 people. All of the levels are crafted incredibly well, and with how smoothly the game plays, it just boggles my mind at the size of the team. I guess the delays really did go a long way in polishing this game until it shines. Although the soundtrack is pretty standard, it fits the vibe the game is going for on numerous levels. Also, I do find it cool that the farm area is the only full 3D explorable area of the game. While the area itself is pretty simple, it feels like there's a lot of depth to it as well, giving it a nice cozy feeling. At the end of the day, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin was more than worth the wait for me. While the farming gameplay certainly won't be for everyone, I still found myself enjoying it a lot. The game also has some real satisfying combat that I enjoyed playing with and mastering while going through every level. This is definitely one of those games that manages to live up to the delays it was put through. While it is a bit rough around the edges in a few areas, I can easily recommend this game to anyone looking for a challenging farming game and a very solid 2D action game. And that does it for our review of Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. Man, I'm gonna be quite honest, I never thought this game would ever come out, but it actually did, and the end result was a pretty good game. I mean, I'm honestly surprised. I thought I wasn't going to like this game as much as I did after being forced to wait for so long. But yeah, those are my thoughts on this game. Let me know down in the comment section below if you guys plan on picking up this game or not, or if you are just, waiting for a sale or anything like that. I would love to hear what you have to say in that regard. Also, if you're new to my channel, if I'm for the first time through this review, hey, be sure to subscribe for future reviews and commentaries. Also, if you want to play these games live, go follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/GammaPT. All links will be down in the description below. And as always, everyone, thanks for watching.